Shalom, shalom. Kahalo, Yahweh Shim Yahweh Bashim Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akim pushing this word in truth and sincerity. This is Reuters news. This is November 2015. It's November 15th, 2021. This is NATO warns Russia over Ukraine military build-up. It says here, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg warned Russia on Monday that the Western military alliance was standing by Ukraine amid a large and unusual concentration of Russian troops on Ukraine's border, stressing that the important thing now was to prevent situation from spiraling out of control. Stoltenberg urged Russia to be transparent about military activities to reduce the tensions and prevent an escalation. We have to be clear-eyed. We need to be realistic about the challenges we face, and what we see is a significant large Russian military build-up, Stoltenberg told a news conference with Ukraine's Foreign Secretary Minister Dmytro Kuleba in Brussels. He said he did not want to speculate about Russia's intentions, but added, "We see an unusual concentration of troops, and we know that Russia has been willing to use these types of military capabilities before to conduct aggressive actions against Ukraine." Ukraine is in Russia, yeah? So what it is, they're trying to infiltrate. Ukraine has got the Caucasus Mountains, so they want to take back their home, one of their homes. Yeah, the caves where they come from. It says Russian troop movements have over the past days spurred fears of a possible attack. Moscow has dismissed such suggestions as inflammatory and complained about the increasing activities in the region by NATO Transatlantic Alliance. There we go. It says here, Russia annexed Crimea from Ukraine in 2014 and says the waters around it belong to Moscow now, despite most countries continuing to recognize the peninsula as Ukrainian. Annexed is the term they used to make it seem like they grabbed it. Nope, they had elections, right? And they voted, Crimea voted to re-establish their bond with Moscow, okay? It was a voting system, as they call it, a democratic voting system, and they voted to go back with Russia. And they didn't like it because they expected to get Crimea because it's near Ukraine, but it didn't happen, okay? Russia is reunited again, the USSR. It says here, Russia-backed separatists took control of Ukraine's southern Donbass region. The same year, the soldiers on both sides continued to be regularly killed in the conflict there. The troop border build-up, which Ukraine last week estimated at 100,000, was dangerous, said Stoltenberg, because it reduced the amount of warning time should Russia decide to conduct a military aggression against Ukraine. This is partly forces close to the border between Russia and Ukraine, but it is also partly troops and capabilities which are inside Ukraine, meaning they are in Crimea, which is allegedly annexed. Annexed my nutsack. They had a voting system, like I said, and they voted to go back with Russia. And also we see the militants, the separatists in Donbass, which is also part of Ukraine, supported and helped by Russia, he says. The NATO force asks to describe how Russia is going about deploying its military equipment towards Ukraine. Said large equipment such as tanks, self-propelled artillery, and infantry fighting vehicles in movement at night to avoid tall, tell tall pictures showing up on social media as they did during the Russian military build-up in spring. Yeah, so it goes on to say Stoltenberg, that damn Edomite. NATO warns Russia over Ukraine. So let's get some scripts, because I was supposed to get some scripts for the other. Right, this is Isaiah 14 and 10. It says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Because one time America stood alone, NATO and America stood alone, but now you can see that Russia is surpassing them. This is Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliff of the rocks. What did I say? Ukraine. They went back Caucasus Mountains. It was originally Mount Seir. They was always loved the mountain region. That's why they like rock climbing. They like cold weather because they're the Edomites. Yeah, Captain Caveman. Yeah, of the Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble. Barney. That said, man. It said that said in his heart. The pride of man's heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliff of the rocks, whose habitation is high. That said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, right? That was their space. That's their space adventures. Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Yeah? So, this is talking of jump down to 6, how other things of Esau searched out. So, this Obadiah is a chapter on the Edomites. Okay? They've set their nest among the stars, and their habitation is high, and they say in their heart, who should bring me down to the ground? And it tells you that the Americans are more stout, yeah, more proud than the rest of these red devils, yeah, the European devil, yeah. But it's a devil against devil, because it says, I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. Let me see if I can find that. No, I forget that one. That's what it says in it. I'll just paraphrase it. They said we're going to set the Egyptian against Egyptian. White boy, red boy against red boy. Yeah? So I'm going to say, call hello, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Yakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Salutation to the Akim pushing his word in truth and sincerity. Kwam Yasharala, Wa Ababa Ba. Destruction to Babylon.